Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Circle of the World podcast, where we discuss Joe Abercrombie's First Law series. I am one of your hosts, Laura Chamberlain Jeffrey, and here are my co-hosts.
Dr. George.
And Harrison, the Adept Historical.
We continue our coverage of Last Argument of Kings, the third book in the original trilogy. And for this episode, we will be covering the Day of Judgment. So, let's get started. I want to thank you all for your continued support. As you know, continue to follow us and engage us on our social medias and our YouTubes, please. We are going to, we're going to do it anyway, I think, but we're going to posit a question to our homies, our fellow listeners. We have received an offer or two to put ads on our episodes. Looks like it's an ad for some kind of, I don't know, horror fantasy podcast thing. And it's it kind of, I don't know if George, you're familiar with it, but if you ever heard Welcome to Night Vale?
Yeah, exactly.
I love Welcome to Night Vale. I know it's them.
Yeah, no. I don't know if it's them, but when I listened to the ad, I was like, oh, I'm kind of getting that kind of vibe from them, right? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys, listeners, are cool with that, we will put that on starting our next episode, which will be, we'll be recording it next week. So you have until a week to inundate our inboxes with either hate mail saying no, or you're cool with it. I mean, we would put it I guess it would just cover the cost of us hosting the podcast. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've had lots of offers before, but the thing is none of them were really worth it to bother you guys with.
Mhm.
We're starting to get some better ones now, like you guys said, to cover the cost of keeping the podcast here.
Mhm.
It just barely does so.
And the actual subject matter is a little bit closer to ours as well. Like it's a fiction fantasy. It's kind of tangentially related and not like some like Muslim guys. There was one about some Muslim guys like autobiography, and it was like, it's not really relevant to our podcast. Like it's so it's just how we go.
We if we're gonna have ads, we kind of want there to be some sort of semblance of relevance, and it incentivizes you guys to actually contact us. So.
Not that you have to, though. We'll take your silence for absolutely put as many ads as you.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to make it about. It would just be at the beginning of the video, right? Of the episode. I mean,
beginning and middle. It'd be one of those. I don't know, George. Yeah, whatever.
And you don't even have to listen to it. It's only 30 seconds long, so
just hit that skip button. If you all want. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start our chapter read through of Day of Judgment, and we will break it up when there are breaks with our other segments. Okie dokie. So let's get started. We start off from the perspective of our homie, Lord Marshal West. He is in a barn, an abandoned barn, and he is looking over yonder towards Adjoa through his eyeglass. But he's pretty far because he can barely see the stakes, right?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting feedback from George. Yeah, so they're a good deal away, and West is still bringing up his army. He doesn't really see the Gurkish anywhere. He asks Pike if, what does he think? And, Pike and Jalenhorn are like, they might be sleeping in, maybe not. What does it matter? And so West is kind of like nervous because he wants to do this right, but what his orders were King Giselle. His orders to West were, hey, we're about to die, so like get your ass over
Hurry
here.
Hurry the fuck up.
Yeah. So there's no time for like smart strategies or anything. West he even says like honestly, Prince Ladislaw would be as good as a commander as any for this kind of battle because it's basically just charge, motherfuckers. That's it. So. He's
just trying to wait for like the best time. Because time is as long as they're coordinated, attack together, he thinks they'll do okay. But they have to just do it at the right moment. That's all he's waiting for.
Yep. So he's waiting for the right time, and then Brent comes up, and he tells him that Croy's cavalry is in position and ready to charge. but his foot are halfway to deploying. Some of them are still spread out up and down the roads because it's pretty muddy. So
what was that? Somebody said in a quote, "You can fight in the cold, you can fight in the heat, but you can't fight in mud."
Oh yeah, who said that?
I think it's a World War I general or something.
Oh okay.
Maybe Napoleon.
Yeah, mud sucks for battles. And then Wes asked about any messages from Polder. Do we know anything? And Jallenhorn was like, he has not been particularly forthcoming this morning. And Wes is like, all right, fuck. All right, all right, we can't just like kind of do this like half-ass. Maybe when a little bit more of the infantry come up. And then Brink goes, sir, is that? And he like points over to the west. No, on the east side or whatever. And and Wes looks, and then he just sees a mass of horses, just and they just start charging, and it's Polder. Polder just the man was pressed. We saw on our last interaction with him, he was highly upset about the Gurkish invading, and he's been waiting for so long to do one of his fabled magical charges over in the north. Didn't get to do it, and now
you got to do it once.
Not really. No. Remember?
Oh yeah, when they charged Bethod in the rear.
Yeah, but that was like they had just arrived and everyone's tired and it's like, oh, just go, everyone just go,
Oh, you mean this is like a proper cavalry charge?
Yeah, exactly. Form up, man. It's like that.
Sweep the Gurkish off the field.
Drive them back over the border.
I can just see Balder like just walking around his fucking, his camp, like just. When is West gonna say go forward? So we're still waiting for our foot. Oh, I just can't stand these Gurkish dogs. He's just fucking like frothing at the mouth.
Exactly. So he's out and about, and West is like, God damn it! He's like, well, I guess that's it. Let's fucking sound the charge. That's it. Everyone goes, and then we hear all the bugles, and then everyone's starting to go. Then we start to move forward, and West tells Jallenhorn to tell the infantry to move forward as soon as they get up, even if they come in by piecemeal. And West is stressed. He's like, God damn it, war, a noble business. And Pike goes, what was that? And he's like, nothing.
I love that Wes keeps saying these things like he's just repeating what Burr said, and it's not exactly clear if he's just repeating them just because Burr said them and Burr was like his mentor, or if he actually believes them.
I think he's using any kind of like knowledge that he might have gained from being a staff on Burr's, being a member on Burr's staff. Just because he to him, remember, I think, I don't know if it was in this part or maybe a little bit later, that he's not sure, like, how does one lead? How does one be a leader? So he may be just grasping at straws here.
I mean, West has definitely come a long way, like, in terms of his leadership. So
yeah. I mean, the man was promoted from was it colonel to major or major to colonel?
Major to colonel.
Major to colonel. That's what it was. Okay.
I think you started off major and then he moved up to colonel. And then he went up to Lord Marshal.
Yeah, it's quite the jump. So, he wasn't like properly groomed. Like he didn't get to be a general normally, which I imagine would have been the next step if you're gonna. So, yeah, he's got some learning on the job to do.
George, do you have anything to say about this off the cuff charge?
Yeah,
I think it's just very character, isn't it? Like Croy does exactly what he's told, and Polar just goes, "Oh, fuck it."
Oh yeah, for sure. So then we there's a bit of a break, and then we come to Giselle's perspective, and he is pacing. I believe on top of the, pacing on top of the. No, sorry, hold on. He is pacing at the top of the Tower of Chains, high above the city. Varuz is up there, Gorst, and a dozen of the Knights of the Body. Morovia is there for some reason. And, Varuz is stressed. He's pressed. Because Giselle asked for what's going on? What's the news? and he says that the Gurkish mounted an assault before dawn. God damn it! Lord Marshal Varus tells Giselle that the Gurkish have mounted an assault before dawn, and that the defenders they were overwhelmed. And then not too long after that, they were able to land men at the docks. A lot of them. So we have been fighting a rear guard action with the greatest courage, but with mixed success.
Yeah, you don't ever really want to be fighting a rearguard action, so
Not in the city, too.
no.
And then, and as he's telling Giselle this, Giselle's looking, and he just sees the Gurkish, flooding the city, going like just packing the middle way, which is Harrison. You want to jump in here real quick? It is the main artery of the streets.
The main thoroughfare of the city. Interestingly though, it doesn't start until after Arnold's wall. Like it's not inside of behind Casimir's wall. It doesn't start until Arnold's, which I find is interesting. But then it goes all the way through into the Agrion.
Well, they don't get into the Agrion just yet.
I know. I'm just saying how long the middle way is.
Oh, right. Okay, gotcha.
It is pretty. It's pretty wide. It's like really wide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. It's like an American Dallas highway.
Oh, that's a wide ass highway. That's for sure. Yeah. So the city is getting packed with these Gurkish soldiers, and Giselle's like, "God damn it!" And then there are some citizens that are leaving the buildings, and they're going across the square, and they're going for the bridge. And they're trying to get to the, Agrion, and it's citizens, and they're trying to get in. And then Giselle's like, get those men to safety. And then
he's like, those poor soldiers. My men, my people.
Yeah, and then Varus goes, I am afraid that the gates have been sealed, Your Majesty. And Giselle's, he's upset. He's going to unseal them. And Varus goes, I thought that wouldn't be so smart. And Giselle's freaking out. He's like, we got to do something. There are others out there. There's going to be many more. And he's like, have my horse saddled. Gather the knights of the body. I refuse to, leave them out there. And then...
Did you guys feel the same way in this part? I got so excited when you said that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you thought...
Yeah, I was like, yeah. Go on, Giselle, you can do it.
Yeah, you could do it a second time. Just don't let don't let this horsey die, please.
But he gets cockblocked here, though, by Morovia.
Yeah, Morovia goes, ahem. Your Majesty, if you were to open the gates now, you would be putting everyone in the Agrion at risk. Many thousands of citizens are all looking to you for protection. Here, we can keep them safe. At least for now. We must keep them safe. We must weigh the greater good. And Giselle goes, he feels guilty, obviously. I guess he feels guilty for not accepting the offer from General Malzagert or Mazalagert or whatever. Right? Is that what you guys are thinking is happening?
Yeah, he's just like taking in everything, and he's taking full responsibility for the bad things going on, which isn't necessarily wrong. But yeah, he's having regret for his decisions, and just he's hating watching all his. Not just, his people, it's anybody suffer. And he's watching it all around him now. Now he's not even far away from the action. It's just everywhere.
Yeah. And the Gurkhas they keep bringing in more soldiers. They're bringing in these large wooden screens that, the soldiers can hide behind and not get hit by flatbows.
Which is a cool little siege detail.
Yeah. And, everyone's, freaking out. And then we hear a voice goes, there, to the east. And then everyone looks, and they see that it's Union cavalry. Lord Marshal West, we are delivered! Yay!
Hurrah for Marshal West!
And then he goes, okay, well, that's good. But let me go back over here. And he looks, and the square, before the bridge of the, the moat it's just packed. And then they're already like setting fire to some of the buildings, and Giselle's he's just worried. And then Morovia ends this little part of Giselle's perspective by saying, "Let us hope that he has not come too late in terms of talking about West." Here, there's a bit of a break, but George, do you have anything you want to talk about here?
No, I'm all good.
Okay, Harrison?
I think we covered it well.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start with our first segment, and we will do Best Meme of the Week. Georgie boy, take it away.
So this is from Rum Job Steve, who's had a couple of memes on it before, and this is a reaction to the latest episode, last week's episode, which is when I was very drunk and I invited anybody that might have been listening to my house for a fight.
For no reason, unprompted.
But no, I was very unprompted. I don't know what was I don't know what was wrong with me. I want to apologise for that if anybody felt uncomfortable with me, like personally threatening to fight them. Sorry.
Hey, don't fuck with George.
So it's a picture of Conor McGregor, and it's like, "Oh, I'll take on any fella in a good old scrap. I will pop round my ass anytime."
It's even better when you say it.
Yeah, it is, and the spelling. Oh my god. Yeah, you were sloshed, my man. You
Absolutely sloshed. You guys wouldn't know because I had to edit it out, but there was a full 3 minutes of me talking. I just got the whole book wrong. I jumped ahead 10 pages, and the guys were like, "What the fuck, George? What are you doing?" Oh yes, no more drinking on podcast nights for me.
I don't say that. Just
Yeah, just 1 or 2 drinks, not
everything in moderation. Well, yeah, that was a great one. Thank you for that, George, and thank you, Rum Job Steve. I'm assuming you meant to put rim job, but I mean, hey, whatever. Everyone likes it.
Oh, you haven't heard of a rum job, bro?
Oh God, is this a Gen Z thing? What?
Is it? I don't
What
know.
is
Maybe
it?
I was just leaving the. It's not. I'm just fucking with
Oh,
you.
I was about to say.
I like that I can act like I know something though, and you'd be like, "Is this some kind of young person thing?"
Whatever. All right. So we come back to the chapter read through, and we pick up from this the same chapter from Logan's perspective now, and they've moved up the road. He's with the army, obviously him and the Northmen, and so he's like, okay, here we go again, time to fight. Jesus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready and go. So he starts. He wants. He sounds the charge, whatever. He wants to go. He really is anxious to get back to Adra because, to him, the time he spent with Giselle, Pharaoh, Quai, not Quai, Baez, and I noticed he conveniently left out Brother Longfoot here. It was like some of the best moments of his life. He felt like he was a new person, a better person, and he's anxious to kind of relive that feeling until he kind of notices that people aren't really running with him. He goes, "What the So they kind of walked up to some a group of trees. And then
I love they're so lackadaisical. He's like, "Come on, let's get in there," and then everyone else is just walking, to completely normal walking.
Yeah, and then they just straight up stop, and then one dude even sits down and sits against a tree and starts drinking water. And Logan's just staring, and he's just like, "What the fuck? I don't think I ever saw such a piss weak charge as this. Did you all leave your bones back in the north?" And then everyone's kind of like grumble, grumble, grumble. And then Red Hat kind of he kind of gets up and he's like, "Look, maybe we did. Don't get me wrong, Chief, or Your Royal Highness, or whatever it is."
I like that he bows his. I like that he bows his head. In Logan says even in his POV, he meant no disrespect. He just didn't know what to fucking call him. Your bloody nineness.
Your bloody.
Oh, that's a good
one. He goes, yeah, he doesn't mean disrespect. He's fought before and he's fought hard, and he has no problem with that. It's just that, it's like, why are we fighting now? It's like, well, it's none of our business. This is not our fight, isn't it? And then Dogman goes, "Oh God, the Union are gonna think that we're a bunch of bitches." And then somebody else said, "Who cares what they think?" And then Red Hat goes, "Look, Chief, I don't care much of a shit whether some person I don't know thinks I'm a coward. I spilled enough blood. We all have." And Logan goes, "Huh, okay. So your vote is to stay here then, is it?" And Red Hat goes, "Well, I guess." And then Logan just headbutts him right in the fucking mouth. And then he turns around and he stares at everybody, and he does that whole thing where he kind of like hangs his head to the side, like all dead-eyed and shit. And then he goes, any other one of you cunts want to vote? And then everyone's like, oh, let's hut to a 10 hut, let's go.
Except, we'll just point out, everyone refuses to meet his eye except Shivers.
Right, because and then he asks Shivers, he goes, how about you? And Shivers goes, oh, no, not now, not now.
He's giving you blacked out vibes right here. And he's like, oh, yeah,
which is cool.
Excellent foreshadowing and storytelling there.
Mm-hmm. And then Logan says, when you're ready then. When any one of you guys are ready. Until then, I'm going to get some work out of you. Now, weapons. And then everybody just like, unsheathes their weapons, real lickety-split. And now, excuse me, hold on. Then he looks at Red Hat, who's getting up, and he goes, listen, think about this. In the old days, you'd be trying to hold your guts in. So consider yourself, you're getting off easy. And Red Hat's like, yeah, right. And then he goes back to the group. And then Dogman goes, man, did you have to do that? And Logan's like, he shrugs and he goes, what? I mean, can't have it any other way. That's how it's always been. And here I was like, well, didn't Dogman in the last chapter with Logan kind of like say, nothing changes, it's all the same? And here he's like kind of like admonishing Logan for not for headbutting the shit out of Red Hat. It's like, come on, pick a side here, guy.
That was true.
Well, I don't know. Because
shut up, Dogman apologist.
Hey, you better watch your mouth, Logan apologist. I think he's like, oh, nothing changes. But I think Dogman was saying that in the last chapter as more of a like, man, nothing changes. But he didn't mean like, oh, Logan, be an ass. Like, it's a pretty asshole move. Everyone, his guys are like, don't want to be there anyways. They're there, and he wants them to like go be all excited about it and charge and do it for him. Like, and they're like, no. And so what is it? Logan doesn't reason with them. He just fucking headbutts them and intimidates them after he's simultaneously thinking about how he was a better man with those other people. Like Logan Dogman doesn't know all that, but he is also like, come on, man, seriously. Because think about this. Dogman may have said that, but Logan was also talking about being a better man and changing. And then he immediately, right after this, fucking starts headbutting his men and be like, I'll kill you.
He's like, your guts on the ground.
So Dogman is like, okay, really, dude? Like, you just told me that you're trying to be better. Like, what the fuck?
Well, okay, yes, but to play devil's advocate, this is the North we're talking about. Like, their society is different. Like, I don't think a leader is going to reason with his men, really. You follow the leader, or the leader is seen as ineffectual, I would say.
No, I mean, to a certain degree, you're right, but I mean, we'll see in future that you can rule with just your words in the North. And Bethod did not win his name he did not win his name just because he was like a bully.
He won his name because he unleashed the bloody nine onto everybody, even children.
Whenever they challenged him, they challenged him, he accepted their challenge and used Logan to win the fight. But he was definitely more than just.
You got it wrong there, buddy. You got it wrong there, buddy. It was Logan doing all the challenging to the point where Beth was like, "Can you stop challenging everybody?"
Exactly my point,
then. Anyway, so then Logan's like, "Yeah, things just don't change." All right, guys, now we're gonna charge, and this time, like, we give a fuck, and they all start running. And they cross the farmland or whatever, and they get to they pull up to these stakes. They see a group of Kirkish soldiers. They see one, commanding officer or whatever, telling them like, "Guys, come on, let's go, they're coming!" And Logan gets there first, sidesteps this guy's attack, and then basically just kills him. And then he looks
like an officer.
Yeah, he's like a commanding officer, right? Whatever.
Wait, it matters because the guy who is the commander is probably a Gurkish officer. Right. And these guys don't look like Gurkish people, though. They're like auxiliaries.
Yeah, exactly. When Logan gets there, after he kills them, he looks at them. They're staring at him, confused. And then he starts, doing like a northern like yell, like, yeah, whatever. And then Dogman gets there, does the yell. Shivers gets there, does the yell. They all get there, and they're all screaming like maniacs. And then the group of soldiers, these auxiliaries, they're just like, okay. And then,
They all just stood there like shocked. Like, what the fuck is going on?
yeah, and one drops his spear by accident, and then that kind of causes everyone else to drop their weapons. And then Logan, after they were screaming, they were like, okay. and Logan goes, all right, well, fuck off. He like.
I love it. He's just like he points with his sword, and well, before that, they're like, "Oh, we can't really, we can't like sit here and watch him. What are we going to do with him?" It's like, well, why don't I just let him go? And he points his sword and he goes, "Fuck off that way," or "Piss off that way," and they're just like, "What?" Because obviously they don't speak. They don't speak fucking Northern, or maybe even Union. They're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is he gonna kill us or?
Yeah, they like cringe back. He holds up the sword and they're like, "Oh god."
And then one of them got the idea. He kind of took like a cautious step, looked back like, huh? And then no one killed him. He started running, then everyone else started running. And then they goes like, all right, good luck to them, I guess. Which was pretty funny.
And then, so anticlimactic. I mean, how can you blame him? Like, you've just seen your officer get his head smashed in, and this guy's screaming at you, and you're just like, I didn't even want to be here in the first place. Like,
I was baking my bread. They called me up to the army. What? I'm confused. And so then we cut over to Glocta's perspective, and he is him, Casca, Artie, and Brother Longfoot, and all his mercenaries. They are trudging through the sewers. They're having a great time, knee deep in muck and shit. And Artie, she jokes around with him though, even though she's like scared, tired, just freaked out. She's like, you certainly do take a girl to the very best places. And Glock was like, of course, nothing but the best. And then he asks Longfoot, where are we going? And Longfoot goes, north. Due north, give or take. I'm sorry, I'll take that. I'll judge it. Oh my god.
That was very Apu, that was.
Very Apu. Yeah, so Longfoot, please take that out.
No way.
Come on, man, we're gonna call it. You know what? Whatever. Pacey did the damn accent, not me.
Exactly. That's the accent. That's what he does.
Whatever. So Longfoot goes north. We're going north. We're just beside the middle way, and yeah. And so Glocta, in his head, he thinks about how right above them is one of the most fashionable places in the city. All the beautiful palaces and a river shit. he's like, I guess, the juxtaposition of the two locations, right on top of each other. And as he kind of laughs to himself about that, he slips. His cane gets fumbled and he almost falls, but Artie catches him. And then he kind of just is like not laying. He's like slouched against the wall, and he goes, "Nope, I've had better days." And Artie, she looks for the cane for him. And he gets he kind of lets it out a little bit. He goes, to be betrayed by both. That hurts, even me. One I expected. One I could have taken. But both? Why? And then Artie just, says, because you're a ruthless, plotting, bitter, twisted, self-pitying villain. And Glocta just stares at her. And she shrugs. And she goes, you asked. And Glocta says, well, that was meant to be rhetorical. Rhetoric in a sewer? And then Casca tells them to wait, they needed to come to a stop. And I guess he looks through the little, I guess, gaps of where you could see outside or hear, and he could tell that it's the Gurkish, and they have moved quickly into the city. So Glocta's like, uh-oh. So they're getting deeper than, we're pressed for time. So let's keep it going, Brother Longfoot. Let's keep it going. And then here, Longfoot takes, he's like, he takes the initiative. Yeah, absolutely. And he's like, not much further now. I have not led you wrong so far yet. That will not be my way. We are close now to the moat, very close. If there's a way inside the walls, I will find it. On that you may depend. I will have you inside the walls. Inside. And he clocked it. Just shut the fuck up and just go.
He can't help himself, killing.
He really cannot. It's a curse with this boy. It's a curse. And then there's a break here. So we will take this break, to do another segment, and that is our character spot. We want to highlight. Oh, actually, Harrison, do you want to take this away?
Yeah. We wanted to. We've been kind of doing these groups of people. We've done the Knights of the Body. Well, not Knights of the Body. We've done the Knights Herald. We've done the People of Adjua, and this time we figured we'd talk about the Gurkish auxiliaries, the people of Kanta who are been pulled into this war and are stuck trying to fight. Like, the Gurkish have a ton of numbers, but it seems like a lot of them are these conscripted people, and you can tell they don't want to be there. And I think this is why the Union does so well against them in this fight. But as we see here with the Northmen, these guys are just like, their officer gets killed, and they're like, okay, and then you got these screaming, huge, pale people that they've never seen before screaming at them, and they're like, I just want to go home, man. They're like,
we didn't want to be here in the first place.
And I like that that's an aspect of it. It's a whole aspect of, it's not just like, ooh, Gurkish evil. It's like, yeah, the Gurkish are not a good people, but like, they're not just the Gurkish. There's a whole bunch of other people here, and most of them are just there because they have to be. It's just a nice aspect to the story, that there are these people who are, I mean, they're being forced to be in another country and fighting in a war they don't want to be in, when they probably don't like the Gurkish either.
Yeah, because let's not forget, they're conscripted, right? They're basically forced into service.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. They weren't having the best of time, I imagine, just in general. Right? Just, traveling thousands of miles or hundreds of miles, whatever, depending on where they're from, in Gurkle. And then you got this officer, their commanding officer, who we probably I think we can safely assume he's a dick, right?
Yeah.
He's all off, like, normally the boss of your group is going to be a dick. And he was actually, because Logan noticed that he was yelling at them to get ready, for the charge. And they just were like, no, thank you, sir.
Yeah. I imagine that the Gurkish officer is like, he's like a regular soldier, and he's been given these like conscripts, and he's just like trying to actually get them to do anything, and they're just like, come on, man, like, why are you pretending to care? Come on, man.
Yeah. So we wanted to, like, I guess, highlight this group as Gurkish soldiers, because you imagine there's probably a lot of them. Similar, I imagine, to the group that breached the wall and Giselle led the charge into, because they were auxiliaries too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and it's just it's a rare thing in a lot of fantasies, I feel like, to have like this thing where these people just, like, no one actually really wants to fight that much. Like,
Except
not
George.
really.
Except George.
Oh shit, that's funny. But it's a nice way of showing through the storytelling, like, without saying, man, like, they've said it, like, these people don't want to be here, but they haven't said, 40% of the army doesn't even want to be there, so they should rout easily. Like, they don't say that. He just shows it in these moments here. When the people are like, I fucking hate the Gurkish too. I'm just being pressed into service.
I hate them. George, you want to say anything about this group of soldiers? Come on.
It's exactly that, isn't it? Like, and I can imagine it's a very typical like strategy where you throw, kind of the ones that don't want to be there first, just to soften the enemy up.
Cannon fodder.
Yeah, exactly. They're just cannon fodder, and they know it. They ain't gonna they're not going out of their way to die for, fucking Adjua. They probably don't even know like what the whole fucking war is about. They've just been dragged from their like nice lives and been sent to this weird country, and it's just like, well, I should probably run away now.
You know what? There's a good parallel to this if we think about it. Same thing happened with Bethod and the Shanka. I bet the Shanka were just fine eating their human remains and whatnot until some witch comes along, puts a spell on them, tells them to come on over to Bethod's side and fight against these crazy Northman bastards.
Just minding their own business.
Justice for the Shanka, please.
Justice.
Hashtag Shanka Lives Matter.
No.
No. No,
Jeffrey!
You can't say that.
We're going to get plenty of borderline things like that when we get to Age of Madness.
Yeah.
Make the Union great again.
Oh shit. Oh. All right, that done. Are we done with the character spot then?
Yeah.
I do. There is a little bit of news here, actually. I just was discovering it because I know this episode's a little shorter. But I did find 2 hours ago. It looks like you can now get the Great Change novella. It's 4 short stories.
Oh yeah, you didn't know about that?
It's now you can get it. Did you guys already get it?
No, you can order it. I knew about it like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
It's like expensive as shit though, I think, right?
I don't know. It's showing me $6 for me on Barnes and Noble.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of the illustrated.
Yeah, there's the subterranean press version with all of the nice art in it.
Yeah. It's like illustrated.
It's $850.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
and I'm a big fan, but I cannot afford that.
Yeah, fuck that.
That's intense. But props to whoever does get it, because that's pretty sick. I mean, if I was a millionaire, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But I just wanted to let everybody know who's listening, you can get that. We should definitely get it and read it, boys, now that you can acquire it. So I just thought everybody should know.
Nice.
So apparently one of them has Glockta's point of view, so everyone, I'm sure, is going to be frothing at the mouth for that. So
frothing at the mouth.
Hopefully there's a audiobook version done as well at some point.
I know. I need Pacey to read everything. I cannot listen. I can't just read it. Are you shitting me?
Yeah. How will I know what the voice is meant to sound like?
Well, thank you for that bit of news, Harrison. And just to round off the chapter reading, we come back to the perspective of Pharaoh. First time we've seen her this chapter, and one of the laborers that Baez has been ordering around is shaking out the last of his wood shavings out of a barrel, and another guy's kind of raking them over the ground, and basically the entire square of marshals is covered in sawdust for some reason, and Baez is like, good, very good, yes, and then
sawdust,
and then the foreman, he goes, is that all? And then Baez goes, yeah, unless any of you wish to stay and witness the destruction of the indestructible 100 words. And the foreman kind of goes, nah, I think we'll just, bye.
I love how fucking serious Baez says that, as if it's just like... That's so funny, man.
Like it's an actual invitation.
Yeah, it's like, if you like to see, witness my great power, and the guy's just like,
It is hilarious the way it's said. No, I think we'll just go. So awkward.
Oh god. So they leave, and it's just the two of them, Pharaoh and Baez. And Baez is like, all right, yeah, the trap is set. All we have to do is just wait for these assholes to get here. But and Baez is smiling, but Pharaoh, she ain't fooled. She sees him. He's rubbing his hands together. He's all fretting. He's sweating. He's not sure if this plan's gonna work. Whatever this plan is, and so it's basically it's the seed. It's whatever the is going on with the sawdust stuff, and Baez and his plan, and the only precedent for using this thing was far, far away in the empty waste of the old empire, the Alkist.
Yeah, it didn't exactly go well the last time, did it?
No.
I mean, it only like completely disrupted the entire world. So
Yeah, that's all. No big deal. And Pharaoh kind of gets her sword ready. She loosens the sword in her scabbard, and Bias says, "If they come, that will not save you." And she kind of retorts, with Logan's maxim, you can never have too many knives. And then she also asks him, "Well, how do you know they'll even come this way anyway?" And he goes, "What else can they do? They must come to wherever I am. That is their purpose, and I am here." And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we end this chapter. Thoughts, boys?
I think it's quite interesting. Is this the first chapter where we get all of these points of views together? We get, I think, every single POV except for Dogman, right?
Yeah. No, I thought there was like a chapter or two prior that we got like a majority of the POVs.
Oh, okay.
he
I
didn't
thought
start
so.
switching around until close to this point. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell the pace is definitely picking up at this point. Like you're switching between all these separate, seemingly separate stories.
Yeah, and we'll see in the next chapter or two, he Joe Abercrombie does this thing where it's like this. It's a very small, inconsequential thing to do in writing, but he carries on. He has each character basically carry on what the previous character said, like the last thing they said.
Oh
Which
yeah,
is
they all
like,
finish each other's sentences, don't they?
kind of, yeah. Like it's hard to explain. You'll see it, but yeah, I don't know. It's you could tell like by this book and by this time he is on it. He is just.
I think this is also like this is like the climax. We're in the climax of everything coming together and the battle and all this stuff. And so I think I don't know about you guys, and Joe has had a lot of this planned out or thought about it for a long time, and so he's kind of finding he's not just filling in the gaps now. He's actually getting to get to the spot, his story beats and his climax for his story are here. So it makes sense that they are very well written, very well woven together. We're seeing finally like it's kind of a slow burn at first, the first law, and now he's kind of gotten all the way into his stride in every aspect.
So what would you rate that chapter then, Harrison?
It starts getting really difficult, but I would say I'm gonna rate this one a 7 out of 9. I think it's really solid. It's not quite as like gratifying as the Gloxa chapter before this. It has questions. But you could tell like it almost still feels like setup, even though it's not like it's happening, but we're just in the beginning stages of it. So we're still getting to this point where we're experiencing it as a whole, and this is just one part of that. So it's really well written, and I really I don't know why, but I very, very, very much enjoy this Baez part at the end here. It's so him, and it's kind of badass. I mean, let's be honest.
It is kind of badass.
He's like, they're gonna be wherever I am, and I am here. And I'm like, yes, Baez. You're like, let's go. This is probably his what this is like his big moment, and he is scared, he's nervous, he's also gone through the whole thing with Ptolemy, which he did not expect. He doesn't know if his plan will work. But there's still that arrogance there where he's saying they're gonna come only to me, they have to. But the truth is that we'll see. That's not exactly true. So it's just perfect. I just love the way he says the stuff at the end. It's just a small moment.
I say I'm gonna give it a 7 and a knuckle. Just a little bit more. I love the tension. You can feel everything building up, like you say, Harrison. It is a bit of a setup for the what's going to follow. But I like how all the characters are now in one place. They're all sort of taking part in the same battle in their own different ways. Glock is sneaking around in the sewers trying to get to the Hazard questions, and Logan's fucking beating the shit out of his own dudes as usual.
What's new?
What's new exactly? And I just love how everything's built into to the climax here.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it the same score as George, 7 and knuckle. That's what I have down. Yeah, because Harrison. Yeah, it definitely is still like a little bit of setup. It's almost like a soft, like, all right, step back, rebuild, reset. But after like especially everything with questions and everything, but yeah, we're gonna get to like all the fruits and benefits of what's being set up shortly, in the next few chapters. So that's gonna be fun. And yeah, the tension's great. Some funny moments. The Gurkish soldier saying bye. We have Baez being real pompous and like they're coming for me. Of course they are. That's why they exist. It's just because of me. And yeah, Giselle being mindful of his citizens but not being able to do anything about it. Glocta continuing his little, clandestine efforts. It's fun. It's fun. I like it. 7 and a knuckle for me.
Perfect. Jeffrey.
Thank you. What do we don't have a community interaction segment for this week.
Nope.
Because Harrison's a lazy bastard.
Super lazy.
So I guess we'll call it an episode. That's our show, everyone. We want to thank you all for listening and supporting this podcast. As you all know, this is a passion project for the three of us, and we really do appreciate your support.
Join us next week as we cover sacrifices.
And make sure you follow us on social media and visit our website at circleoftheworld.com.
And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any podcast app that you use. And please make sure to rate and review this podcast as it helps. Thank you all again for
Shut
listening.
your mouth and get on with it.